Good morning. Uh, Happy Saturday. Um, yeah, sorry. I don't know, something every time I get onto YouTube, I feel like they change the interface. So it used to say studio, but now it says something like customized channel or customized. So I was looking around trying to figure out how do I get into the thing again. So I don't I don't know what it's doing, but it's not great. But I did find it, and but I expect they'll keep changing it as they do over and over. Um, so here we are, Saturday. Still, no resolution with the election, which is kind of a bummer. But on the other hand, you know, nothing is going as normal this year, so no reason why the election should be any different. Um, but certainly, I think people are feeling a level of anxiety without knowing how things are going. Hopefully, things will get resolved, or we'll figure out how to live with this for a little bit. Again, I think, you know, we've gotten over the years maybe kind of spoiled with our instantaneous results. So now um, we have to make do like people maybe did in years past, being patient. And maybe that's going to be the expectation from now on, is that it's going to take a little longer to sort things out. Not necessarily a bad thing. Certainly, it would have been unfortunate if um, someone had thought it was a good idea to call it early. Um, so, better that we are sure that all the votes get counted, and then we see what happens. But in any event, we're going to stay calm and find other things to do. I think it's been clear for the past few days that uh, nothing's really happening most of the time, but the news people are still just talking and making noise. So I would suggest step away from the TV, because you'll find out soon enough when everything is said and done. There's no need to have that noise in the background. So find something else to do, or to watch if you want to. My husband and I have been watching The Great British Bake Off, which I don't know, has been a thing for years and years and years, but somehow I managed to miss it entirely. We do watch cooking shows, so I'm not sure how we missed this one, but it's pretty fun. So you might want to check it out. It may make you want desserts, though. We had to run out last night and get some, just because after a while you watch the desserts and you think you should have some of those desserts. We didn't want to bake anything. We just wanted to eat something. So there you go. All right. So let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about patience, right? Patience. When we talk about this in yoga terms, everything in yoga we encourage very slow, right? Slow movement, slow progress, slow expectations, right? Rushing is never a good idea in when you're talking about yoga poses, all of these things. Expecting that things will happen quickly. Terrible idea. Um, when we rush to things, we make errors. Um, and we talk about this a lot, this idea of small incremental steps when it comes to your poses, when it comes to changes in your mental and spiritual well-being. Um, we don't do this well, right? We want to make do big things and um, try to change everything in our life immediately, and then we fail, and then we're disappointed, and the whole cycle starts all over again. So rather than that, change one small thing, um, and stick with it. And then when that becomes a habit, pick another one. Um, be contented with slow progress, right? The slow progress that you make is successful, right? That is where you find your best success, is step by step by step. Trying to take giant leaps, we often hurt ourselves, or maybe get to a point where we are stuck. We don't know what we're supposed to be doing. We've just rushed on ahead without reading the directions. And now we're in trouble. So, um, being patient with your progress, no matter how slow that may be, is very hard. But we need to work on that. Um, give yourself permission to move at the pace that you need to move at. Um, a lot of times it's us that is putting that pressure. We tend to think it's the outside world, right? Other people's expectations and things like that. But really, it's us, right? We are allowing maybe other people's beliefs or expectations to influence us. We get to choose. So choose to be patient with yourself, be patient with others. No one is having an easy time right now. Everybody is struggling with one thing or another. So let's be patient. Let's give each other some grace and take our time. Set reasonable expectations for yourself, and then be pleased when you reach them. Don't just rush on to the next thing. Take the time to enjoy that. Right? These are the steps that we can take, and that will lead us to this uh, equanimity, the santosha. Right? We are all looking for that, and in this time and place, nothing more so. Right? Contentment, self acceptance, acceptance of what's going on, not fighting it, not struggling, not, angry and dissatisfied. Maybe it's not perfect. Maybe you do want to change some things, right? That's perfectly possible. This idea of contentment and equanimity does not mean um, apathy, right? It doesn't mean we don't care. It just means we aren't constantly unhappy. We see how things are, we accept them, and then maybe we want to make some changes. Um, but again, we don't expect those changes to happen just like that, right? We're going to take some steps today, and then tomorrow we'll take some more steps. Um, it can be very difficult to stick to this. which is why it's a practice. Um, I think as we get older, um, hopefully we get a little wiser, and this makes sense to us. Um, when we're younger, I think it's very hard, but it can be still be hard as you're older as well. Um, just keep coming back to that. Keep remembering that you are okay as you are, and when you change some, you will be okay then too. Um, we're always just starting where we are, and you can always make changes, improve. Yoga does not require you to be at a certain place in a certain time. Wherever you are is fine. If you are super fit and super mentally strong and evolved, yoga will help you. If you are really out of shape and really in mental difficulties, yoga will help you. There's no requirement for entry. Just show up and start working through some of these steps at your own pace. Right? If it takes you 20 years to move to a certain point, that's fine. Um, it's not a competition, it's not a race, it's a lifelong pursuit. And the sooner we can kind of wrap our heads around that, the better. Right? Our practice will improve, our attitude about our practice will improve. Um, we'll stop holding ourselves um, to some standard that is unachievable. Instead, we will trust, right, that we're going to move at the pace that we need to move at. It's all about trust, right? And it comes right down to people who are super hard on themselves, super competitive, super um, hard to please, I guess, with what they do. Generally, it's because they don't trust, right? They don't trust themselves. They think they're going to slack off. They think they're never going to achieve something if they don't push as hard as they possibly can. And the fact is, we will. Um, we will achieve things. We're not as lazy as we think. We're not. Our goal is to achieve things, right? That is our nature. Our nature is to create and to work. Um, we don't. We may want to sit around a little, right? And sometimes more than others, depending on what's going on with us. But that's not our natural state. Um, we are curious. We are interested. Um, you can see the remarkable things that people have done over the centuries and generations. That didn't just happen out of nowhere. That is something that comes deep inside of us, is this desire to do things, to create, and to work. Um, so trust, trust yourself. Trust yourself that um, you won't be a lazy bum your whole life. If you give yourself permission to just move at your own pace, you will want to do things instead of dread them. You will look forward to doing the things that you need to do instead of feeling like they're a real chore and a real, something oppressive that's put on top of you. It will be coming up from within. So be patient with yourself, with everybody, with everything, and see what happens. Look, give it a try. Right? I mean, I'm telling you these things. I've read these things. I've experienced these things in my own life, but give them a try for you. If they work, great. If they don't work, well, try again. Maybe they're not. Maybe we aren't there yet. Maybe you're not ready for that yet. Maybe you still need to work through some other things. I don't know. But what I love about yoga is, again, there's no faith per se. Um, we use our faith. We use our belief in our practice. But the actual um, yamas, niyamas, the which called rules of yoga, they're experiential. Like, you're going to go through them and see them, um, and see how they work for you. They make good sense. It's not, we don't have to believe in something for them to work. They just do, um, and we can see that in our own life. So um, try it. Try being patient. See where that gets you. Hopefully somewhere good. All right, so some asana today. As you move through the asana, let's try to keep our focus on just small movements. Coming right up to sort of the edge of what's comfortable, moving maybe a little bit of a stretch beyond that, but not too much. Try to see what happens in your practice if you are a little more restrained and not pushing so very hard. Take a breath. And then we're going to hang the head down. Relax the shoulders. And lifting up, keep lifting, lift the chin. Bring the head to center, take a breath. Lower the head over to the right. Try to make sure you're not lifting up the shoulders. Sometimes we are trying to kind of unconsciously touch that ear to the shoulder, like that's a goal, right? It's not. Back to center and left. So I like starting with the warm up, and I like starting with the neck, because I think most of us are very careful with our necks, right? We know to be careful with our necks because the neck is this sort of vital structure. If only we could be so careful with the rest of the body, right? So as careful as you are when you move the neck, try that as you move through other parts of the body. Move with direction and with purpose. Don't just sort of throw that leg out or throw the arms up. Try to kind of visualize in your mind what's happening with the arms and the muscles and everything as it moves. Mindful, purposeful movement is part of the practice. One of the reasons, yoga is linking the breath and the movement, and there's an energetic aspect of that, but it's also to bring awareness to the movement, right? So if if you're trying to match that in-breath with the lift, you aren't just kind of casually throwing the arms up. You are slowly as the breath. So the breath kind of acts as a almost like a metronome, right? So your movement is constrained by the breath. So you can't lift too high. You can't just do any old thing, right? You're moving within a structure. So keep that in mind as you go through practice. It'll give you a little more care about how things move around. Take a breath and then lean forward. Moving around. And again, as we are moving, you may notice some different things happening with the body. Maybe you felt one way when you started, but then you started moving and your leg is bothering you, or your shoulder, something is acting funny. Be careful, right? Adjust the practice. Come back up. Let's lift the arms high. Gaze up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. So our practice is an exploration, right? We're exploring what's happening with the body today. We're discovering, what do we need? What should we do? What should we maybe avoid? Every day is going to be different. Inhale, lift. Right hand down by the side, reach across. And switch. Back up. Let's walk the hands out in front. Hands back, and then fingers pointing away from the body. Squeezing the shoulder blades together. Gaze up. Back up to your seat, tabletop. Sitting back on the heels. Child's pose. Moving back up. Tabletop cat-cow for a few sets. Inhales, exhales. And sitting back on the heels. Maybe bring the knees a little wider. And moving back up. Tabletop. Let's swing the right leg around. So we're up on the left knee. Reach the arms up overhead. We're going to lean back a little. And then hands to center. Take a deep breath. Moving to the right. Turning the shoulders. Back to center. Right hand down by the foot. Left arm lifts. Both hands to the mat. Walking out here. Walk the hands back. We're straightening out the right leg. Folding over. Set the foot down. We're going to swing it around. Back into child's pose. Maybe stack the fists here. Rest your forehead. Coming back up. Swing the left leg around. Arms overhead. Lean back. And hands to center, deep breath, turning to the left. Back to center, left hand down by the foot, right arm lifts. Hands down to the mat. Kind of walking out a little bit. And breathe. Walk the hands back, straightening out the left leg, and then folding over. Set the foot down, swing your leg back around, back to child's pose. If you want to here, you can bring the hands together, rest the elbows, and then see if you can bring the hands back behind the neck. Coming back up, tabletop, and then seat on the mat. Soles of the feet together, sit up tall, deep breath, fold forward. Moving back up, both legs out in front. Deep breath, arms overhead, folding on the exhale. Coming back up, bend the right knee. We're going to hug it in close. And then set the right knee down to the side. The foot can be in by the thigh, or you could bring it up on top of the leg. Deep breath in, fold forward. Back up. Switch the legs. So we're hugging that left leg in. And then foot down by the thigh or on top of the leg. Deep breath. Fold forward. Both legs out in front. Deep breath and fold. And back up. Let's point and flex the feet. Rotating one way and the other. Bring the legs wide. Take a deep breath. And then we can walk the hands out in front or bring them on the legs. Whatever seems good today. Breathe. And back up. Bring the legs a little closer and then fold here. Moving back up. Bend the knees. Soles of the feet. to the mat, and we're lowering down. Take a few breaths. Bring that right leg in, close to the body. Left leg extends. And then we're lowering out to the side. Rest of the body stays flat on the mat. Back to center, and then coming across the body. Breathe. Back to center. Switch legs. Lowering down. That left leg. Back to center. Bring the knee across the body. Keep breathing. And then back to center. Extend both legs. Relax and breathe. And we're going to move here into Shavasana. So if there's anything you want to do to get comfortable, it's all good. Feeling supported on the mat. Steady with the breath. Pardon me. As you breathe, just feel the body sinking into the mat, letting go of any thoughts, any worries or concerns. Remember that these feelings are not you. They are generated from your thoughts, from the input that you're getting from the outside world, your interpretation of that input. It's generating feelings, emotions, even physical response within the body. But that is not who we are. We are this deathless self within. All of those other things are like clothing that we put on. We wear them when they're appropriate, right? We have appropriate responses to the things that are happening around us. But we can take them off. We can store them in the closet for some other day, or just give them goodwill, right? Get rid of them. More will come. They don't define who we are. They are just a momentary place in time. This peace, this calm, that is who we are. That is what is real. Everything else changes. Feelings come and go. Situations have ups and downs. Focus more on the steadiness within and less on what's happening around. Moving a bit, fingers and toes, hands and feet, maybe stretching if you feel like it. Making your way up to a seat. Let's bring hands together. Breath in and out. Thank you for taking some time for yoga this morning, for sharing it with me. And I hope that you have a great Saturday and rest of the weekend. Namaste. Great. Thank you. We're going to do some meditation quick. 5 minutes, and let's do a little guided meditation this time. We're going to do some loving kindness meditation for people who are out there working hard for us. So comfortable seat. I don't know. I feel like my meditation cushion needs a recharge. I think I've crushed all the buckwheat hulls too flat. I've been using it too much. Got to get some more. So sitting up tall or however you want to be, so you're comfortable. Breath is steady, relaxed. Close the eyes. Make sure you aren't holding some tension in anywhere in the body. And find that peaceful focus. So let's start by sending some loving kindness, thoughts, feelings towards yourself. Whatever it is that you are going through, we're always struggling with something. So send yourself some kind thoughts, some love and affection and understanding. And then let's send some loving kindness to people in our family or our friends who may also be struggling. Give them compassion. Send some understanding and love in their direction. Let's send some loving kindness, some compassion, and positive thoughts to the people working to count all the votes. This certainly isn't what they had signed up for, but they're working hard to try to resolve this. Send them some strength. Send them some love. Then let's send some loving kindness to the healthcare workers and the people who are ill now. We have, on top of all the election stuff, there's a lot of things going on with the virus. So let's send some love, some kindness, some peace and compassion, appreciation to those who are caring for the sick and for the sick themselves, that they should be well and we all should be healthy. Opening your eyes now, coming back to awareness. Breath in and out. Okay. Some yoga and meditation for your weekend. I hope that you enjoy the beautiful weather. Maybe get out of the house, take a walk, do something outdoors. Enjoy it while it lasts. And I will be back on Monday. We'll see where we're at then. Enjoy your weekend.